I think people talking about the RTS genre being dead, they don't understand the evolution of the RTS genre. Um, because when you talk RTS, you think StarCraft, Warcraft, other crafts. You think Command and Conquer, Age of Empires, and there are others I'm missing. Like as Company of Heroes, I would add in there as well, but I don't think it's as widespread. But you think those kind of games, like those kind of strategy games, and that's true. That is RTS games, completely right. But that is not the common RTS anymore. Like I think the RTS genre has evolved in a way that people don't think it's fun. Most people don't think it's fun having to have like 800 APM and maintaining 5 bases while microing 3 armies here and there and harassing something over here and having a main force defending somewhere else and so on. I don't think most people find that interesting. They might find the concept interesting, but they don't want but it's the fewest people who wants to build up the skill level to actually be able to do that on a decent level. So just and as an example, just look at how many people are in bronze in League of Legends, for example. And I've had friends who tried to have a bronze smurf and they always ended up getting banned because it was so hard to get into bronze without being banned, because you essentially have to throw the game every single time. But you have to throw it in such a way that it's not obvious you throw it. So it's like a whole mind game trying to do that. The point of that is that you only control one character there, and still a lot of people are struggling with that. So now imagine having to control 200 characters at the same time with less abilities and less complexity. But you also have the added complexity of maintaining bases and so on, and resources, and doing everything at once. Huge complexity, huge skill ceiling, and a very different skill ceiling than shooting games and MOBAs and so on. I'm not saying it's higher or lower, I'm just saying it's different. And then you have the added complexity of, if you've ever watched RTS esports, it's fucking boring to watch for most people, because you need such an in-depth knowledge of why it was really cool that he built the barracks 5 seconds sooner than usual, and why it was cool he built it next to the refinery rather than the mineral line or something like that. Like there's so many minuscule things in the build orders that you need to understand to appreciate the esport. And that means, again, the skill ceiling just to be a spectator is fucking huge. Like that's much bigger skill ceiling as a spectator even than just watching Counter-Strike. Everybody in the world can watch Counter-Strike and understand it. Like, you get shot in the head, you die, that was bad. Or you pop someone in the noggin, they fall. It's easily understandable. Everybody can understand these overall arching mechanics. That makes for a really good esport. That brings a lot of viewers, that brings a lot of players. But you cannot sit down any random person in front of an RTS esport match and expect them to enjoy it. They're just gonna see a lot of random things moving around on the screen and not understanding why the stalker is the counter to roaches because they use blink mechanics or blink micro. Like, that's just fucking nonsense to most people. You can explain to most people that being shot in the head kills the other player. That's nice and simple. So, a mix between the esports being a fucking nightmare to try to get viewers to, the the like immense skill ceiling there is to get to a decent how would you say, like skill level, I guess, like the amount of time investment required to get to a somewhat good skill level, while like the stress level of playing it for most people, and like the intensity of it when you do like 600-800 APMs or whatever, like that does take quite a lot, and it is stressful for most people. And people just don't want to deal with that when they want to relax and chill with a game. So the RTS genre has evolved, and it has removed a lot of those requirements, and now we see very successful RTSs, but they're not considered RTS because it's not on a computer and it's not base building in the same way, and it doesn't have all of this huge micro and so on. But I would argue that Clash of Clans is currently the world's biggest RTS game, and Clash Royale is also a really big RTS game, and they're really good RTS games in my opinion, at least when I was playing them. I haven't played them recently, but I can't imagine they have gotten too bad. Of course there's some pay to win mechanics in there, but like it's a free game, so if you want to play on a high level, sure, you might have to spend some money here and there. Personally, I was a free-to-play player in Clash Royale for... This is way longer than I care to admit, but I think I was for 6 or 7 years. Like, I have to... Clash Royale release. So released, but so this is 8 years ago. This is bright, but they did a soft launch in Scandinavia, I believe. Clash Royale soft launch, and I was playing, okay, Denmark was part of it, so I've been playing since January 2016. Do I still have it installed? No, I don't think I do. But I've been a free-to-play player, I think 6 years. Yeah, I stopped approximately 2 years ago. And I did buy, okay, so not entirely free to play, mostly free to play, like tiny spending. I never bought like card packs or like chests as it is in that game. I never did that. That's terrible value. Like, you have to be a huge fucking whale and want to waste your money to buy that shit. But they did have and they probably still have a battle pass, which is really good value comparatively, and you got a lot of fun tower skins and emojis, and I like that. So I bought, I don't know, maybe I want to say 3 or 4 season or battle passes, but let's say I bought 10, then I'm on the safe side, right? And besides that, I never had to, like, I've never spent money on it, and I've always had the cards I've used maxed, and that, yeah, it was never a problem with resources to max out my stuff. And something people don't really understand in those kind of games, including gacha games and similar, is you don't need to max out everything. Like, you don't need to upgrade everything in the world, and you just need to upgrade the things you're actually using. And if you do that, you most of the time have resources. So if I were to max out everything I owned in Clash Royale, I wouldn't have the resources for that. But since I don't use every single card in the game, I just spend my resources maxing out what I'm actually using. Oh. And then I have plenty of resources. Like, then it's not a problem at all. And a lot of the times I capped out on gold, and I actually had to force spend it on some things, just because otherwise I wouldn't get more.